Okay, good afternoon, class. Thank you for coming on time. And as I just said, it is really important to be in class on time. And for those of you who miss the lesson, please watch the recording provided on our platform on the Google Classroom. Okay, so we have covered a good deal in the drama, the play by Shakespeare, The Tempest. We discussed the most important themes. We know now how to do analysis for an extract taken from any of the scenes, any of the acts 1, 2, 3 until 5, or any scene. It is important, as I have seen, some of you already submitted the assignment of the analysis of the quote. It is important for you to, when you have this in the unit test and in the class test, which will happen very like Sunday. Sunday, you're going to have the test for the unit test. And you will be having questions related to some extracts taken from the play. So you now know from the assignment that you have covered last week that when you have an extract, it is important to mention which act, which scene, who said the dialogue to who, and then you start explaining and exploring if there is any poetical devices, literary devices, how the meaning is conveyed, and you need to shed light on the characters who are talking in the dialogue. Give me something about their personality, give me something about the significance of the saying to the whole theme and to the plot of the play. Remember that the play always, when we just like a novel or a short story, we have the plot. But in a play, we have really important issues like setting, place, time, and characters. These are the main components of drawing any play. Remember those very well. So it is the setting, the time, the place, and the characters. These components, what make a drama, what make a play. Then you move on to the plot, the plot, what is it all about, and the themes that the writer is trying to discuss. For now, we are going to talk about the characters, a kind of character analysis, and then we'll have a small activity on character drawing or character building. I see somebody wrote something in the chat box. Do you have any questions, anyone? Any questions? Okay. All right. So now we'll have a look at how to analyze the character. What you need to write about, because you will have a question related to character analysis. Okay.
7 central characters and their relationships to and maneuverings by protagonist Prospero tell the story of Shakespeare's The Tempest. The magician Prospero is the main character in the play, both as the focus as well as the orchestrator of all the action. As the Duke of Milan, he was too focused on magical study and left the running of his dukedom to his brother Antonio, who turned on Prospero and deposed him. Exiled to an island, Prospero and his daughter Miranda have lived in near isolation for 12 years. During that time, Prospero has become a more powerful magician. When fate brings the men who conspired against him within reach, Prospero uses his powers to elevate his daughter's position in society and pursue revenge against his enemies. But in the end, Prospero forgives his enemies, regains his dukedom, and plans to return with his newly engaged daughter to Italy. Prospero's faithful spirit servant, Ariel, helps Prospero gather his enemies on his island in order to repay them for their traitorous crimes against him. Ariel is haunted by his former experience as a slave to the witch Sycorax. Enticed by the promise of freedom from Prospero, who freed Ariel from a tree, he serves Prospero willingly, using his magic to manipulate the other characters throughout the play. Exiled with her father when she was only 3 years old, Miranda has grown up on an island with no humans other than her father and their slave, Caliban. When she meets Ferdinand, she is awed by his beauty and immediately falls in love. Engaged to him at the end of the play, she prepares to travel to Naples for their wedding. Caliban, son of the deceased witch Sycorax, is a half-human who lost control of the island when Prospero and his daughter Miranda arrived there 12 years earlier. Although Prospero and his daughter try to educate Caliban in their language and ways and claim they treated him with respect and kindness at first, he later tried to rape Miranda. He is now a bitter, frequently punished slave. When Caliban meets some of the castaways from the ship, Trinculo and Stefano, he hopes to serve a new master. Alonso, the king of Naples, is on board a ship returning to Italy from Africa, where his daughter has married the king of Algiers. After the shipwreck, Alonso despairs over the presumed drowning of his son, Ferdinand. Ariel reveals Alonso's part in the exile of Prospero. Alonso repents of his past sins. Gonzalo, King Alonso's advisor and Prospero's loyal friend, is a positive person. He sees the beauty and purity of the isolated island, considering a utopia he might create there, eliminating poverty and wealth, as well as social classes. Because he helped Prospero escape long ago, he has earned Prospero's gratitude. Antonio is the current Duke of Milan after undermining his brother Prospero's power and exiling him from his home 12 years before. A greedy, remorseless, and unsympathetic character, he plots with Sebastian, King Alonso's brother, to kill Alonso and take power.
Right? So I hope you have seen how what are the points you need to talk about when you are analyzing a character. So first of all, you have to mention who is this character and what is their description. Are they merciful? Are they wicked? Are they kind? Are they naive? Are they young? Are they plotting? Are they representing the bright side in the story? Are they revolving? Is it a static character or is it a dynamic character? And please, class, I want you to write those words. I want you to use those wonderful words because you are going to use it later on when you are doing your final exam. So it is important to show me some of the diction that we use in the class, okay? So not only who are they, what they did, what is their role, I want you also to mention something about the relations, how they are related to each other, how they are related to the main character. Are they good? Are they bad? What exactly drives them to act this way? How Shakespeare used them to express what, to show what, to talk about what. So it is really, really important for you to have in mind when you have a character analysis to include everything, how they affect the plot of the story and how they add to the events of the story. Now, I'm going to give you some examples here. Look at that. This is, I consider, a very organized way when you are analyzing any character. Remember, these are really important. So when you talk, you mention where the character showed up, in which scene, in which character, in which act, and what is the point, what is your evidence, and then the explanation. So it is important for me to see that you are able to understand and figure out what the role of each character. Now, let's look here. I'll put it to you in the form of a question to make it easy for you. Question and answer. Why does Prospero choose to forgive his enemies? All right, towards the end, you know that the Prospero would finally get over the revenge desire to revenge from those who treated him bad, and those who exiled him into the island. Okay, so look here, what you need to talk about, even if you are not 100% you like this character or you hate it, you need to look at the dialogue between Ariel and Prospero, okay? When you are talking about Prospero and how he forgives his enemies, look at the dialogue between Ariel and Prospero. The beginning scene, how much do you think Prospero is affected by Ariel's words? So I'm putting you those questions for you to try to understand how to analyze the character. Then in another scene, you need to explore how Prospero speaks to the nobles and to Caliban. Is there any different diction or different style or mode or tone when he is speaking to Ariel, to those people, the nobles, and the, between brackets, of course, you can say that this word is taken or used ironically, because the people who did the mischief to Prospero, they were not noble, but again, in appearance and reality, they look as if they are nobles, but in reality, they are not. What are the words that he used with each team? Okay, in this scene, Prospero's celebration of his daughters getting engaged to Ferdinand, or the love story that started. Look at the words he uses. And also, this reminds that Caliban is plotting against his life. So this is the undergoing of changes in Prospero. How he talks to Ariel, how he talks to the noble people, or the, between brackets, the enemies, of course, and how he talks to his daughter. So Prospero here, you can get out of those evidence, or you can come up with this summary that Prospero believes it is the right thing to forgive rather than to take revenge on his enemies. Okay, what is the evidence? If you have a question like this, prove that Prospero decided to forgive all his enemies. What is the evidence? The evidence is the exact words said by the character in the play. Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason against my fury, do I take part? The rare action is in virtue than in vengeance. So this is Prospero. In the exam, you will have, you can have a look at the exact document or the exact play. You can just copy the exact words. I do not expect you to memorize or learn by heart the words of Shakespeare, definitely. But if you need to quote, you need to say this exactly this way. So you mentioned the name of the person, Act 5, 2 dots, 1, which means Act 5, Scene 1. I hope that you understand that, or you are familiar with how to quote from the play. Then the explanation, I do not expect you to write this. I expect you to write as a paragraph without these subtitles. The subtitles are there just to help you understand what are the points you need to do. Okay? So for the explanation, you say, when Ariel suggests that he would feel sorry for the nobles, where all the human, he prompts Prospero to say that he also has sympathy for them. Prospero says that although they have done him harm, his sense of humanity, his nobler reason, look at the Shakespeare word, nobler reason, meaning humanity. It means that he should take the moral high ground and do the right thing in allowing the nobles to go free. Finally, he decided to let them go, providing that they are sorry for hurting him. Like any good person when sometimes you get furious, sometimes you get angry towards certain people, and you swear, you say, I swear to God, I will revenge, I will bite them, I will beat them, I will bite them, I will kill them. You do everything. But at a point, you just feel, okay, I just forgive them. So this is exactly what happened to Prospero, and this is the undergrowth of his character. How he started as vicious sorceress, using magic to create a state of horror to the nobles who were in the ship. And he even was able to stir the tempest against them, because at that time he wants to revenge. Tell me what happened, the undergrowing of all the revolving characters. Show me by the end of the story how he changed from the vengeance, the vendicate, to a more tamed person who tended to forgive and tends to let go. How has growing up on the island affected Miranda? So if you want to write about Miranda, what you're gonna write about, you will track her appearance even from Act 1, Scene 2. You're going to explore Miranda's responses to the story her father tells her about how they arrived on the island. Remember, the first time we get to be introduced to Miranda was in Act 1, Scene 2, when she was asking her dad to try to help those people who are suffering from the tempest. What was his reaction? What was her reaction? What did she say? Okay. So in Act 1, Scene 2, this is the only scene that gives us clues that Miranda's relationship with Caliban. How is it? Is she nice? Is she vicious? Is she evil with Caliban? From what Miranda and Caliban say in the scene, what sense do you get? You as a reader, what sense you get? What is their relationship? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they wicked? Are they kind? You need to figure it out. How might the relationship have affected her as she grew up? Remember, she came to the island when she was 3 years old. I want you to mention these. So she was in a state of being naive, kind, and never knew anything. The only people she knew, her father and Caliban. Okay. Act 3, Scene 1. Now she's going to be met with Ferdinand, and she's gonna fall in love with him immediately. All right. What is the famous saying she said? Oh, brave new world. And you need to mention that, okay? So the point here, Miranda has not seen another woman since she was, or a human being rather, not only a woman, when she was 3 years. And of course, she is the first female and the only female introduced in the story. What is the evidence? When she says, I do not know one of my sex. I don't know any other woman like me. No woman's face. Remember, I can't remember even any face of any woman, save from my glass mine own. So this again, as you can see, you're going to mention it this way. Miranda, comma, 3, 2 dots, 1, which means this is said by Miranda, Act 3, Scene 1. Then you need to explain, if you are going to take an evidence from the story, you need to explain saying that what happened here. She has no one to compare herself to, and so does not know whether her appearance would be considered normal. Also, because she has no other woman around to influence her behavior, she is absolutely untamed. She's acting natural. She only knows what her father teaches her about how young ladies should behave. So she represents the kind of naive and kind-hearted. However, I want you to read carefully her dialogue with Ferdinand. And I want you to figure it out. Is she cunning? Are you familiar with the word cunning? Meaning, is she like, somehow wicked? Does she have something to hide? Is there anything? Is she like also looking for power? Is she powerful? Is she manipulative? Is she strong? I want you to figure out that from her dialogue with Ferdinand. All her dialogues with Ferdinand would give you a good sense of understanding about her. Okay, so if you have a question related to how does Ariel feel about Prospero, and this is really important because you know Ariel is a kind of personality that is somehow captive, right? So you have Caliber and you have Ariel representing the natives who are being conquered in any piece of land. I want you to analyze the two characters very carefully. I want you to understand why do behave in such way. What drives them? What is the psychological effects? And I gave you example last time using Gandhi. How did Gandhi feel towards the British colonization in the beginning and later on? Similarly, how the natives here, Caliban and Ariel as a prisoner, felt in the beginning and what happened towards the end of the story. So you can say that Ariel resents the power that Prospero holds over him. Is he liking it or he doesn't like it? Okay. Does he want to be free or he is happy and content to be enslaved to Prospero? Is there more toil? Look at the word toil here, hard work. Am I still going to work harder? Since thou dost give me pains, you give me pain like you give me hard time. So look at that. This statement, does it reflect he's happy? Does it reflect he is suffering? And look at the figures of speech here. Look at the give me pain, as if pain is something, objectification here, as if pain is given by somebody. Look at that. So I want you also, when you do your analysis, you need to talk about the poetical devices and the literary devices here available, to like a metaphor or any of those devices, okay? Let me remember thee, what thou hast promised. Look at thee, thou. Here is alliteration, okay? Which is not yet performed me. All right. So you understand from those words. Is he happy? Is Ariel happy with the being enslaved to Prospero? Definitely he is not. And looking at the words with in depth, you would understand that he is reminding him of his promise to let him free. So Ariel feels that he does everything Prospero asks of him, and yet Prospero always asks for more. Just like any colonization, they wanted more and more and more. If you have a treaty with the enemy, okay, this is your land, this is my land. If you are that kind of person, they would keep more and more and more. They wanted to occupy more land and more land and more land. So same thing here. You wanted to continue taking more advantages. Prospero promised to grant him his freedom as a reward for creating the storm, but now there is more work to do. So in the beginning, he told him, create a tempest, make them feel scared. And he said, okay. And after that, I will free you. So he did the first thing, but he didn't free him because he asked for more and more and more. Just like what is happening in real life with the colonization and so on and so forth. Okay. So these are just examples of how to analyze your characters. When you analyze a famous character or any character in the story, you need to be aware of the all elements, like who are they, what can you tell about their description, how they are affected the other characters, like the relationships, and what is their relation to the plot. So what you will be doing now, I'll give you 5 minutes only, 5 minutes to take your breath, consolidate on what we said, and then you will have a short quiz on character analysis, and then you will have a break, and then you will have a bigger quiz. It's for the information, understanding, knowledge, and application for the story, Act 1, 2, 3. We discussed Act 1, 2, 3 so many times, so you will be doing that, because my plan is on Sunday you will have the test, the class test, or the end of unit test, because we need to go to unit 4, which is the novel. So take 5 minutes and come back right away. 5 minutes on.